Hello, guys. Good morning. It is a return of the face vlog. So, um, I had a rough time of it last night. I went to bed at around 10, but I never actually fell asleep until 3, like 30 or something, or like almost 4. What happened was I overwalked yesterday. I know I walked like 2.5 hours. I don't know if you can tell, but I sunburned basically my face and my arms. So the sunburn wasn't a big deal. What was a big deal though was the my left leg was throbbing. It was like agony. And so basically I just sat there for like hours trying to sleep. And then I started having a panic attack because I was like, "Oh my god, I'm tired. I want to go to bed." And my leg is just fucked right now. And I'm like, "What am I going to do tomorrow?" And oh god, it was pretty bad. And then I was like, I should get some ibuprofen. So I called the front desk. Front desk doesn't have ibuprofen. um 222 on the clock. And so then uh I'm like, fuck it. I'm gonna DoorDash ibuprofen. A great decision. Also, I didn't unpack I went to Costco and I got there's this like 8-inch foam mattress thing. Didn't unpack it. Turns out I actually don't think I need it on this bed, which is really weird. Now this could be the ibuprofen. It's very possible. Okay. So I take the ibuprofen finally, and I also almost fall asleep while waiting for the ibuprofen because I'm just so exhausted. And I wake up and I'm like, oh my god. I go downstairs. I had one band-aid left, but I didn't use it because I was like, oh, it looks like the cut from the seatbelt on the plane looks like it's fine. Nope. Fucking I brushed it or something, and the dead skin just flopped around, and then it totally opened the thing, and I'm like, oh fuck, oh my god. So I was glad that I had the wherewithal to have the band-aid still, because I was like, hey front desk, do you have a band-aid? No, I haven't seen a band-aid in 10 years or whatever the fuck it was. And I'm like, okay. So I basically, and then my stomach is upset. I feel like I want to throw up because the panic that I was having. I'm like, oh my god, I haven't had a panic attack and all of this other stuff happen in so long. And it was just like, I think it was, it was that plus like, this place is pretty rough looking. So it's like, I was like worried. I'm like, oh my God, something might happen, whatever. And it all like was hitting me at the same time. And then on top of it, it was like, I was like, oh my God, like, the person, like, I haven't met the person yet. Now, to be fair, this person I'm supposed to be during the trip, like, the trip has just fucking started, right? But it was like there's a lot of doubt there because it just, God, the trip just felt fucked so far. Like, in certain ways, because it's like, I kept running into these like small or semi like important things, like not having a car. The like Airbnb stuff didn't work out, so I had to do the hotel stuff. So yeah, so it just kind of all hit me. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, I can't go to sleep. I'm trying really hard to go to sleep, and I'm like, oh my God, I just want some help here. Like, this is so hard. And yeah, it was really rough. And and I'm like, I have in my ear, I'm listening. I'm like, I don't want to fall asleep with the fucking my headphone in my ear because like I'm like worried that I'm gonna like hurt my ear or something. But I also just like needed something to distract me, and so I'm like, okay, well, I gotta just listen to something. And so I did. And yeah, it's like, thinking about it, it was like a really tough moment. And I just I don't know. I just realized. I hope that you guys are able to hear. Because I had my. Okay, well. I don't know. Hopefully you guys were able to hear all that. I'll know when I edit. But, now I gotta go check. So, if you guys don't see this, okay. But if you guys do see it, obviously it was fine. And I'm gonna make another one after this. So, okay. I'll be back in a second. Alright, I just checked it. It's fine. So, lucky for you guys. Because that was really, like, emotional. Okay, so it was just like everything just felt really pushing me down at that moment. And like, my inner peace was still there, which is the weird thing. It's like I knew that I could use the inner peace to like ignore this like panic attack. But I also knew that that would be doing what I used to do, which is push down the feelings. And inevitably, if I did that, I would create like a new dam of like emotions that I'd have to deal with later. So instead, I'm like, okay, I'm feeling all these feelings. I'm just gonna let the feelings ride and fall asleep when I can fall asleep. And then wake up and kind of review them. So I'm reviewing them now. And, because at the end of the day, so here's the thing. The inner peace, and I think this is something that people forget, or I guess not forget, but they don't really understand this inner peace. I have the choice on what happens. And that doesn't mean that I'm a robot. It just means that in each moment, I have the choice of stepping in the bubble, letting things come into the bubble, or stepping out of the bubble. And I had chosen to step out of the bubble to allow these feelings to really like play out. And I think it was also pretty instinctual too, where it was like, yeah, just let anything you're feeling, just let it come out. And so there's a lot of panic, a lot of like anxiety, a lot of just like I saw 333. A lot of panic, a lot of anxiety, and instead of trying to kill the feeling or bottle it or whatever, I tried to figure out in the moment, like, okay, why am I feeling this? And it's like, okay, like, I'm worried. So like, it's like, okay, I'm worried about like this trip. I'm worried about, like today, my buddy is gonna be like gone all day because he has stuff he has to do. So I'm not gonna see him. And I'm also in this like area with effectively legs that are like overstrained. So it's like, okay, well, what am I to do today? I don't fucking know. I think the ibuprofen's still working because I don't feel any sort of uncomfortableness with my legs. But I was also kind of mid what's the word? I mid panic attack. I was thinking, okay, what have I learned from this? I need some sort of like ibuprofen just on my carry-on or whatever, as like in case I run into an issue like this. Now, I'm not someone who generally takes ibuprofen, but on the occasion when I need to because of sleep, that's like so big. I saw 5 by 5, but I kind of stared at it. So there's that. Also, having a first aid kit like the lady on the plane, for any potential cuts or stuff that happens is another thing. I'm like, oh yeah, I should have that too. And both of those things don't take up much room at all. So it's like, yeah. Same with, I also realized I might want to, like, Gas X. Because if I feel really bloated for whatever reason, I occasionally reach for a Gas X. So, in spite of the fact that I was going through this, like, tough period, I was like, okay, angels, like, angels, God, the universe, like, source, I am really struggling here. I need some help. And there was definitely, like, you need to help yourself, but also, like, Michael kept pointing at the fucking mattress that I had got. And he's like, you need to use that. I'm like, how the fuck am I gonna do that? Because I haven't unrolled it yet. And I'm like, oh fuck. So I was gonna unroll it last night at like 1 in the morning. And I was like, oh fuck. I just forgot that it's going to, when I unroll it, it's gonna have that new smell, and it's gonna have this like gas period. And I'm like, fuck. It's gonna take like 8 or 10 hours or whatever to like fully inflate, and then it's gonna also let out a bunch of fucking noxious gas that I'm gonna have to deal with in the room. I'm like, this is just so fucked. I can't use this. So I'm not sure what he wanted me to do with it. Maybe prop my leg up. That's totally possible. Yeah, that's probably what he was pointing at. Yeah, he's nodding and confirming. Okay, well, I mean, yeah, that would have been a good idea. I just didn't understand Michael, so sorry about that. But he just like does a shrug. Okay, yeah, that's fair. So yeah, that's kind of just what kind of went down yesterday. Is if you guys see the squirrel video I have, or the video where I talk about the squirrel, I didn't know I was sunburnt. I also didn't have the hotel figured out, so I was pretty much just vibing. And it's only later that I figured out the hotel, and then, well, motel in this case, but what the fuck? Get out of here, little fly. Oh, also, I was like, God fucking damn it. There's a fucking cockroach, last night. And I was like, fuck. Like, this is fucked. I was just so upset with, like, everything. And,
Now, to be fair, it was like on the bathroom wall, but like still, I was just going through it, and I don't know. What have I learned from this? I don't know. I'm trying. I kept looking for 1111. I tried to force it there. I think the big learning. I'm sorry. It's just okay. The big learning thing that I kind of came to when it comes to all of this is being a little bit more prepared internally and externally for difficulties, because it's not that I'm not gonna not experience difficulties. It's gonna be more like the difficulties that I experience are going to be different. Number one. So like this is not something I've experienced personally. Like worrying about the whole like the way the trip is going and all of that was pretty new. Because to be fair, I haven't done many trips like this. And so, I'm coming through a whole host of like new things where it's like, okay, what do you do when you have like pain and you're trying to go to sleep? I didn't have a fucking answer for that. So this is very valuable in understanding, okay, you need something, whatever it is, whatever your go-to is, you need something that you can use. So having and then like band-aids, having a first aid kit in case you cut yourself, having being prepared in certain ways. And those are things I just didn't have. And those are things I will have going forward. I'm close to a Costco. Costco, I think, has like first aid kits. Now, to be fair, there's other places I could go to, right? So I might do that. I don't know. We'll see. But probably having those things on the carry-on, I don't know. I mean, there shouldn't be a problem having a fucking ibuprofen container. But if it in the worst or in a scenario where they think it's some fucking other pill, even though they all have ibuprofen stamped on the thing, I could get the like single like sealed ones, so that then it's like there's no problem. But yeah, which I think I might do, because the Gas X has that. Anyway, so sorry, my hands keep being tired. So yeah, it's been one of those things where I don't know. It was important for me to go through that, so I understood that there were things I still needed to like account for. And I don't want to overdo it, but having those things readily available is important. And I think this what's it called? Having this thing, like, I need to inflate it today, I think, if I want to use it. But also, I don't know if I want to use it. So I don't know. Um, I need to see if I can get send over to my buddy's place a Amazon delivery for the okay, my Xfinity and my other thing just processed auto processed. All right, I also need to deal with that. So yeah, it's there's a lot of things I need to think about today. So it's actually kind of good that my buddy can't really hang out today because it'll give me time to kind of sort myself. But obviously not having a car sucks, especially because I probably shouldn't overwalk today. Now, obviously, the ibuprofen worked really well, and maybe it's still working well. I don't know. Because I took it at like 3:30 or whatever, and it was like 11 when I started this, so 11 something. Oh yeah, which reminds me, um, I actually slept pretty decently. Um, so that's the thing is once I like got past everything, I slept fine. But again, it was like a bunch of hurdles to get there, and I don't know. We'll see. Um, I'm not really sure what the day is gonna look like, but I want to upload everything, or at least I'm probably not gonna upload. What I'm gonna do is get everything ready so that all I do is upload at my next place because the internet here is pretty slow. So I don't think I'm gonna want to upload. Um, because it'll probably take like 2 hours or 3 hours. So, but again, I'm ahead on my upload schedule by like a week. So really, like as long as I get everything like loaded in, it'll be fine. Because I did upload yesterday's stuff that I did. So I think I have until Friday or Saturday. It's either Friday or Saturday. I think it was Saturday because I don't know. Maybe it was whatever. It was day 70, I think, is where I'm at. So oh yeah, because that day okay, yeah. So I'm 5 days ahead because 6 days ahead is if I'm fully caught up, including that day, which I didn't do that day. I did yesterday. Is that right? Yeah, that sounds right. um, I don't know. Either way, I have until I think Friday. Um, before I'm like worried. But again, I'm not like I'm gonna do a bunch of like stuff today when it comes to like uploading stuff. So I'll get everything kind of sorted. But yeah, I think today's gonna be a slow day, and it's funny. My my spirit guides and angels and all that stuff. I mean, they're the same thing, but like, yeah, they're like, slow the fuck down and relax. And I was like, I can't. I don't know what the fuck to do. And they're like, we're gonna make you relax. so, so this is kind of like, this is a mini. Yesterday was like a mini tower moment of like, you have to fucking relax and stop walking so hard because that's not relaxing. 2.5 hours of walking is not relaxing. Being incredibly tired and drained, that's not relaxing. And I'm like, all right, fine. um, I do have things I want to do, but I'm gonna try to do them. Like, there's a place that's like right next to this place that is like I don't know. It's um it's a grocery store. And I think there's the Costco and then there's something else that's near the grocery store. But oh, and then there's a food place. But what I was thinking is 2222 on the clock. I think I just need to assess what's going on and what my plans are today. I might even do a reading just to. I don't know if I'm gonna record it. I mean, I probably should. I probably should record it. The recordings are really helpful to like look back on later. So again, it's like the reading stuff I don't really do for anyone other than myself. So, um, and like as documentation. Um, but the reading yesterday, what did it say? It said you need to not be bothered and love yourself, and then things will work out. And that there was a lot of like third party stuff, like trying to push for me to miss things. Now, just to be clear, just because I have that experience, there's no fucking way that I'm gonna let that like stop me from doing this trip stuff. But I felt like I kind of needed to just let that all out because that stuff was just building for a while. And so, I let it out. Now I'm fine. And that's kind of so. I just want to point out something really important here. This is how you don't build a dam. You just let the emotions ride in the moment. Now, obviously, you still do what you need to do in the moment to make sure that you can, like, make it past that moment. But you let the emotions ride, you experience it, you acknowledge it, and then the next day, you review it and say, okay, what did I learn here? This is a really healthy way of going through. And now, obviously, I could have pulled back a little bit more on like fully experiencing the panic and everything. But like, it actually wasn't too big. What is this? Who is that number? Okay, I'm gonna pause real quick and then I might come back in a second. Okay, I'm back, guys. Sorry. It was just a wrong number. Uh, I kind of should have known, but whatever. Um, so as I was kind of saying, it's really important that you figure out a process that's going to work for when things are not going the way you anticipate. Because inevitably, you will go through these. You just will. And it's not about doom, gloom, whatever. It's about you and your brain planning things a certain way, knowing that it's possible that you won't kind of experience it that way, because your brain wants to predict, and your mind wants to predict what's going to happen. And so your mind will come up with a bunch of scenarios, and then you, the observer, can see them and be like, oh, okay, well, that's interesting. But it's really easy to let the brain's predictions kind of not take over, but like, man, it's just okay. I'm gonna set you down here. There we go. So it's really easy to let the brain's predictions or the mind's predictions 222 again on the clock. These predictions, you can let it control you, or you can acknowledge that the mind is good at predicting, but when it comes to the things you're going to experience, those predictions won't always be the case. And in most cases, it's actually not going to be the case when you're on these like higher timelines, where it's like you're going to experience a lot of things that don't make sense, and you have to be good at sitting with the unknown, sitting with not knowing how things are going to play out. And your mind really hates that, because it's like your mind is used to predicting, recalibrating when it's wrong, predicting again, right? So when you do that, and you sit with the uncomfortable feelings of not knowing, that's when you can really start to allow for more letting go. Because when your brain realizes that predictions are not really going to work with whatever you're going through, the brain's still going to want to predict, but the brain might come up with even more crazy stuff, or you can just kind of work with your brain and be like, hey, you do not have to predict. We're okay. I don't know. I'm at that stage where I'm like, I'm not sure how well I'm going to be able to convince my brain that, or my mind, I keep saying brain today, but how well I'm going to convince my mind to not worry about it. But it's okay to acknowledge that the mind is worried. And the mind is just trying to protect you. That's all it's doing. It's like, hey, I'm just trying to predict things so that then you can be safe and you can be prepared for things that could potentially happen. And it's like, thank you. I appreciate your care and concern for me. But you don't need to do that because we are going to be fine. And us letting go of predicting the future is going to help us be better at the present. And when we're better at the present, well, that's all that we need to be. And so it's shifting your future looking into present looking, where if the mind can start allocating more resources towards cataloging the present and towards experiencing the present, then there's less time spent thinking about the future. Because the future hasn't happened yet. Only this present moment exists. And, we'll look back on past moments. Obviously I'm recording, so I'll have past moments that I've recorded. But I only ever exist in this one moment. So allocating resources to a potential future that's probably not going to exist in the way that I see it, it's just a waste of resources. So this is like me trying to convince my mind and letting my mind know that the resource allocation, you need to just let it go, because we're not going to know, especially in this intuition filled experience. Predicting won't work. It's not a viable strategy anymore. It used to be a very good strategy, but now we need a new strategy, and that's listening to the intuition and spending those resources that we would have in predicting instead in exploring and enjoying the moment. So that's what we're working on. And you know what? Last night, the panic was about the future. Yeah, it was also, there was some panic about that present moment. But it was mostly about the future. I don't need to worry about the future. I don't. Because remember, we're walking across that invisible bridge. I can't fucking predict the next step. That's okay. I don't need to. The whole point of the bridge, the exercise, is letting go. So this is a big moment of mind, thank you for your future prediction services. They are no longer required. You need to focus on the present moment. That is your new task. That is your new job. Heighten the senses of the present moment. Experience the present moment as it unfolds. That is the highest thing you can do now. And yeah, that's it. So, well, welcome back to the long ones. Because, yeah. Um, I, going from that really expensive hotel to this really cheap one. Ironically, the really cheap one has a better bed, which is really funny. I say better in the sense that it allows me to sleep. Um, but yeah, I think we're gonna be fine. The kind of worry and the panic. Okay, we experienced that. And does that mean I'm gonna let it kind of dictate how I'm gonna go going forward? No, because I think in that moment I needed to experience it that way in order to have the moment I'm having now. And this is where a lot of this won't make sense to a lot of people, because it's like, okay, you know what I'm kind of picturing? And I think this is an apt metaphor. Picture a butterfly in its cocoon, and there's a moment where it has effectively mostly finished its cocooning phase, and it's starting to work on opening the cocoon. So it's beating its wings, and there's a moment where it's like, oh my god, I might not make it out of this chrysalis because my wings are so weak right now. And at that moment, you could let for the butterfly, I'm, anthropomorphizing this like butterfly, or no, wait, that's not the, I'm humanizing the butterfly. Okay, well, whatever. My point is, you have a choice of continue doing your best, because the butterfly doesn't know when the cocoon's going to be open, right? It just instinctually is like, okay, I need to just keep working until I break open the cocoon. And in the process, that's how it gets its wings, right? Its wings become shaped and fully realized as it's breaking out. And it needs that struggle of breaking out in order to fully create a full pair of wings. And if you get help, or if you if you get help, then those wings won't be fully formed and the butterfly dies. So you have to do the cocoon, coming out of the cocoon yourself, because this is, again, This is kind of the new paradigm. How do I interact with future struggles? Because you know, in this new timeline, in this new journey, it's not that there's going to be no struggles. It's going to be that the struggles that I face are different, and that they're not going to be life ending like it felt in the past. Sure, there's probably going to be a lot of tough things and a lot of uncomfortable stuff that I might go through, but it's just going to be different. And when I get faced with something like that, how am I going to react? This is my wings. My wings are how I'm reacting to the situation, how I treat each moment. And I've chosen to allow to feel the feelings so that I can just let them have a space and know that in that moment I'm feeling the feeling, whatever they are, and my inner peace is always there. It is. And if the feelings get too tough, okay. Like, I can always do the dial. Because I'm right there with my inner peace. So it's like, it's allowing for me to, oh God, both arms are sore at this point. So it's allowing for this moment with the feelings to experience them and to just be with the feelings. It's okay. And if they feel a little too overwhelming, I can dial it back a bit. But the key is me working with myself and not burying things. And then, once the moment has passed, to allow for reflection on that moment and understanding of what the moment was trying to teach me. Because that's really what it is. Like if you think about like what I learned from this, I could have gone ahead, with the whole class thing of like, reading ahead and then learning lessons ahead of time. I could have gone ahead. The signs were there of like, hey, maybe there are certain things you're not prepared for. And, one of them was the bandage thing. I knew on the plane that I probably should get bandages. Did I? No. Now, it's lucky that I kept the bandages. Otherwise, it would have been more annoying. But, yeah. Like, this is how you kind of go through things where, okay, if you go through a tower moment, even if it's a small one, and I'm saying tower moments here. Not every difficulty is a tower moment, but if I look at them as little mini towers that I can kind of use to kind of break down what's going on, well, that's great. Another thing, I didn't realize how much sun I was getting. Now I have the opportunity to get sunscreen. Will I get sunscreen? Yes or no? So it's like it's things like this where you you get the warning, and then here's the thing: if I don't get sunscreen, chances are I'm gonna burn the shit out of my skin because I'm not used to this level of sun, and it's very very warm and sunny down here. So like I didn't realize that I brought a jacket. Like that symbolizes all you need to know about what I thought the temperature was going to look like. Um so it's things like this where I need to pay more attention, and this is why my mind needs to be focused on the moment and kind of learning in the moment, because I could have avoided the bandage thing by getting a first aid kit. Now, it's possible that I would have thought about getting ibuprofen, since I was going to get a first aid kit, which means I could have had ibuprofen with me, and I wouldn't have gone through that like harder moment, and I could have potentially had ibuprofen at like 11 and then fallen asleep and woken up at like 8, right? So it's these moments where you can do it the easy way or the hard way. And I went the hard way, but I still learned. Either way, I'm going to learn. And there's nothing wrong with going the hard way. It just is a little bit tougher in the moment. But then, it passes, and it's like, great, okay, now I know. Like, I got taken care of what needed to be taken care of. So, and I want this to be like a really important moment for everyone to see. Like, it's not that you're a robot. It's not that your inner peace makes it to where you never feel another emotion again. It's that your inner peace gives you the choice of how intensely you feel something, how much you allow things to affect you, and you always have the option, the choice. And people would say, well, why do you want to experience a negative thing or some sort of emotional turmoil? Well, that's part of being human. Like, if I deny that, then I'm going to be more robot than human by denying the emotions. I don't want to be like that. So, just as the good emotions are something I want to fully embrace, I also want to embrace the bad emotions, because they're still a part of me, and they teach me a lot, just as the good emotions teach me things. So it's like, if you deny part of your humanity and part of the way you exist, then what's the point? Like, if I wanted to become a monk, I would become a monk. And then I just wouldn't feel anything, and I'd just sit there as a monk. That's why I love, some of the Buddhist teachings. But there's a fundamental issue, which is forsaking your humanity, so to speak, in as a means of effectively becoming a robot through this inner peace. And it's like, once you attain inner peace, it's a tool just like anything else. And you can use it to dial the emotions, but you should never cut off the emotions. Because when you do that, now, okay, just to be clear, I'm not saying if you're overwhelmed by something, I'm not saying you shouldn't use the tool at your hand, right? Like, I felt pretty distraught in the moment. But at the end of the day, I had a place to stay. Yeah, I was in pain, but I didn't have anything going on tomorrow. And I also had an out. It was about exercising the ability to use DoorDash in this case, right? And it made me feel weird, and I was like uncomfortable, but I was like, okay, use the fucking thing that you have. Fucking who cares? You spent, $25 on a $5 bottle of fucking ibuprofen, okay? Like, yeah, not great. But, like, you had the tools to be able to do it, so just do it. Should I make that a habit? No, of course not. But, like, in the moment, you use what you got. So, and, of course, I could have inner peaced my way out of the anxiety. But the anxiety was teaching me something. So why do I want to cut off the teaching? And this is fundamentally what I've been trying to explain, is like, I understand that some people won't get why you'd ever want to experience anxiety. Why you'd ever want to experience fear or pain or worry, anxiety, all the stuff, right? Why do you want to experience those things? It's not that I want to experience them in perpetuity, forever. It's that in the moment, they're pointing at something that I have either been neglecting or that is really affecting me, even if I don't consciously feel it. And so it's like, okay, what is it? It's best to figure it out in the moment. Why am I feeling this way? Why is it happening? There was a moment where I was like in the bathroom. It's fucking 2:30 in the morning. I'm shaking. My fucking I got like headphones in listening to something. It's not helping. I keep getting ads that I can't skip because I'd listened to so much. I should just get fucking YouTube Red or whatever the fuck, YouTube Premium. But these, well, whatever. Anyway, but experiencing these things in the moment, it's like I wasn't gonna die. I had some sort of stomach, like upsetty stomach, And it was the right amount of discomfort to where I couldn't ignore it and I had to like see what was going on. And it's like, okay, you're upset because you think you're going to get a really bad night of sleep at the end of the day. That's really like, but it's like, it's more than that, right? Because it's actually that you're worried about everything going on. You're worried about things not turning out the way you hope that they turned out. You're tired of waiting. Like, yeah, fucking waiting sucks. Like, but that's part of the point. You're not supposed to actually be waiting. You're supposed to be genuinely just living your life, and then the things will happen as they happen. And that is the core teaching here. Why are you waiting? Live your life now, not when people show up. Because if you're living your life now, then when the people do show up, you continue living your life. This is the core teaching here. You need to stop putting your life on hold or pause in order to hope that something happens. You just need to do the things that you want to do on the trip. And then as you're doing them, things will happen. It's not the other way around. And again, you can't trick the universe into getting things to show up when you want them to, or in a way you want them to, or whatever. You know, it's possible that one thing happens. It's possible that another thing happens. It's possible that there's something that you couldn't even fathom that happens. Doesn't matter. Let it fucking go. Your job is to live each moment the way you want to live and to enjoy the moment. So I need to enjoy where I'm at. I actually picked a great spot because there's a lot of cool things that I can go and do. And guess what? I have a fucking Uber, so if I want to go somewhere, I can go somewhere. So it's like, don't worry about it. Yeah, that's really I think that's the biggest takeaway. I need to stop feeling like I'm pausing things because I'm already in the new timeline. I'm already in the new life. I'm not waiting. I was waiting before. I'm not waiting now. I need to wake up to the idea that I get to choose what I get to do. I have all the power. I'm not in the cage. I'm free right now. You know, there are instances of animals in captivity where when they're free, they long for the cage, or they feel confused or want to go back because it's like, well, what do you do now? Now that I'm free, what do I do? Well, that's the beauty. You can do anything. You're free. And it's scary that you have this agency that you didn't. So yeah, that's the point. If I want to sit in my room all day, I can sit in my room all day. If I want to go out and do something fun, I have the capacity to go out and do something fun. If I want to walk, I can walk. If I want to go to a store, I can go to a store. If I don't want to go to the store, I don't have to go to the store. And you may be like, Jesus Christ, like, come on, man. Like, what? Just get to the point. This is the point. It's like in this moment, I'm affirming how free I really am. And it's important to keep affirming, yeah, I am free. I don't need to wait to live my life. This partner wants me to live freely, just as I want my partner to live freely. You know, we're not completing each other. We're expanding each other. That's a big difference. Being complete and then growing and expanding versus being a puzzle piece to fit together, right? And that requires both parties to be free. Both parties to have their own wants, needs, and desires, and then have things that overlap, right? You know, we're not going to be together 24/7. That would be incredibly unhealthy. We could, if we wanted to, and maybe there are moments when that's the case, but that's not a healthy partnership if you're just clinging to someone, right? And that requires you to recognize that you're out of the cage, you're free, and you need to start living. You gotta start living. You wonder why you're not meeting this partner. It's because you haven't fucking started living yet. It's like, yeah, no fucking shit. You're still at the fucking fence gate, looking back into the cage. Turn around, fly the fuck away from the cage, and start living wherever the fuck you want to live. Right? And when you do that, that's when the partner shows up. Not before, because you weren't ready before. So yeah. Big moment, big progress. And you know, again, I've kind of shown you guys and I've talked you through. Like, this is me effectively talking to myself. But I'm doing it within the lens of trying to teach you guys, when you get out of survival mode, truly, this is something you're gonna face. Where it's, you know, it could be an easy or a hard way of shifting your perspective. It could take 2 seconds because you weren't in the cage that long. Or it could take fucking, you know, having a couple panic attacks or whatever it is, you know, in order for you to finally figure out, bro, you're free. Just live your life. That's all you got to do. That's the only thing you have to do. Live in the moment. Experience everything. And also, stop being afraid of experiencing things. But yeah, that's my point. So All right, I'm gonna let you guys go. It's been 40 minutes on this one, and then it's like 30 minutes and 20 minutes. So it's like this is gonna be a really long one. But you know what? Fuck it. If this turns into like a 2 or 3 hour thing, it turns into a 2 or 3 hour thing. This is important for you guys and for me. I'm learning, and you guys are learning, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna go live, and you guys go live, and we'll run into each other again in a couple seconds. Okay, bye.
Hey guys, I figured I would do just a quick little room tour, you know, just to show you what I'm kind of working with. By the way, this place, it's like a little, what the fuck am I trying to think? It's basically a small grocery store. There we go. But I just thought the name was really funny. You know, got my little desk, the bucket seat. Thank God for the AC unit. That's the. I don't know if I'm going to actually unpack this or not before I go to my next place. We'll see. But yeah. Messy as hell bed that I left. That's a hint for something I got that I'll be talking about later. But yep. Hello. Man, I look fucking weird in the camera right now. Anyway, and then the bathroom. You know, a bathroom. But yeah, here, I'm gonna flip this over. Yeah, I kind of wanted to do this with the last place, but I didn't think about it until I did this place. So, is I just kind of want to show, you know, the general where I'm at. But yeah, I think overall it's fine. You know, does the job. And there are things for me to walk to. The mall is there's a mall close. It's lacking a bunch of like stores, but it's a nice place. Has AC, which, you know, I'll just say, I think just the fact that AC is like standard everywhere says something about the general temperatures. So yeah. By the way, I didn't know that they did this. I found for the Switch, they have Final Fantasy X and X-2 on the Switch. I'm like, what the fuck? It's like $20. I'm like, yeah, I think it was 25 actually, but I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna get that. That's like my childhood. So yeah, that's gonna be something I'll be playing on my off time, like on planes or whatever. Because I loved 10 and 10-2, so I think more than 7, which is blasphemous for some people. Final Fantasy 7 was like the GOAT for a lot of people. I also really liked 8 because of the cards. 9 was fine. I liked Vivi a lot, but I liked 10 a lot. Yeah, as a kid I was like, who doesn't want to play 10? It's so cool looking. But yeah, and it's remastered, so I don't know if it's a good remaster or a bad remaster. We'll see. But yeah, I'm. I think that's it. So I guess I'll talk to you guys later. I don't know where this is gonna go. Maybe in the daily stuff. Yeah, probably the daily vlogs because it's like 4 minutes. But okay, bye. Hello, it is 6:40, and I think this is gonna be. I'm doing it a bit early because I don't want to bother people um, that are trying to go to bed or whatever early because yeah, I just don't think it's right. So I'm doing it in pretty reasonable you know hours. Okay, so I I had that morning vlog that was like really long, explaining everything that happened. I ended up going to the mall, and wow, the mall is like half closed stores, which is crazy. Um, but it has a Target, which is really big. Target has turned out to be like the best store for me. I don't know why, but I every place I go to, there's a Target within walking distance. So it's like super big, and Target has everything. So I'm like, great. I'm very happy that I'm running into Target. Okay, so a lot of things happened. Um, while I was there, I basically I came across. Well, first of all, I walked the whole place, and I'm like, oh, this is a really good spot for walking. What I didn't realize yesterday was that because the sun is beating down really heavily, um, I don't know if it's just different region or no cloud cover, whatever. I get burned really easily, and so because I get burned really easily, um, I ended up getting SPF 50 sunscreen for my face and for body. Applied it today, even though I applied it after I did most of the walking around, but I ended up applying it anyway just in case. Um, my feet are pretty tired, so I'm definitely not going to be walking. Uh, also, ended up getting most of the essentials. I literally bought my stuff, and then so I found a few things that were really cool, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I totally want to like get this. And then I totally spaced on the things I actually needed. I ended up getting Band Aid, little first aid kit that I can put in my carry on. And I also have, I got a second one and I gave it to the downstairs people. Because I don't know, I just felt like they just needed bandages. I just, I don't know, not having bandages or just a simple first aid kit downstairs for emergencies seems like an oversight. So I fixed that. If they're going to use it, who knows? And it's not super crazy, like, it's just very basic stuff. Um, so anyway, so I did that. And then I also, what's it called? So I got half the stuff, and I ended up having to go back into the store. And there was a nice lady that I talked to. She's like, oh, you forgot like half the stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I know, it's like awful. Uh, I was so excited about what I found, which I'll show you. This is so cool. Especially, okay, I just want to say two lovebirds. Like, come on. Considering what I've been talking about this whole time on this trip, this is such a perfect thing to work on. So, I will show you. Oh, I guess I didn't show. Yeah, here you go. Look at that. It's so good. So, okay. Anyway, I'm looking forward to that. Because I saw, like, it was like yesterday. I'd walked past some sets. None of them were calling me. This immediately, I like picked it up, put it in my hand before I even looked at anything else. That's how sure I was getting this. So, anyway, it's so cute. I'm so excited about that. It also totally symbolizes this trip, uh, which currently it doesn't sound like it, but I know it does. Um, so yeah, I guess future Tom will know, but he's a knower. Uh, anyway, right. So when I was doing my walk, because I got sidetracked and I talked about Target, but when I was doing my walk uh, in the mall, which by the way, totally air conditioned, it's so good to walk there. So I'm definitely that's going to be if I want to exercise and do some more walkies, that's where I'm going to do it. I might even just like vibe there because it's really nice. Plenty of places to sit. They got little massage chairs. There's like, there's food. I don't think I'm gonna eat any of the food there, but who knows? Anyway, so I ran across this older gentleman, and it was so okay. I understand this was divine timing at play. Okay, I was wandering around, looking at the random food stuff, about to go into Target, and I just turn. I hear like there was this guy head down like this. It looked almost like he was praying, and then he went like this and looked up, and then uh, made eye contact with me, and then he started talking to me. I couldn't hear him, so I walked up to him. He's like, "Hey, look, I'm really struggling right now. I'm like, I came out here for work, and I'm really in trouble. I'm literally sleeping out on the fucking sidewalk, and like, I just want to get back." And I'm like, okay. I felt like guidance of like, I need to help this guy. I normally just kind of walk past. Not because I don't want to help people, but because there's a lot of people that need help. And if I try to help every single person I pass, I'm going to get exhausted and I'm not going to be able to do my own thing. So there's a balance. But if I ever get guidance like this, I will, yeah, I'm there. What do you need? Um, and so, I was talking to him and he's like, I just need like $40 to get back. I'm like, okay, you got it. So there was a cash machine next to him. It wasn't working. And there was another guy who had actually just gotten him food, which was really nice of them. And so I was like, okay, um, you know, I'm thinking in my head, like, I am running low on funds. So, while it's something that I can do, in the back of my head, I was like, should I? And that was my mind, like, talking. And every time I was talking with him, it was like I just felt the like energy around me, like reacting so strongly about this. It was like, this has to happen. And I'm like, okay. So I, I go, we walk to a different cash machine. Um, and he's just telling me a little bit about his life. And I'm like, hey, so what's your deal? What's going on? And he's just talking about how he had like an operation and like, he's just trying to find work, and it's a bit like less population dense here, but there's less opportunities. So it's like, he was hoping to make it out here and get something, some sort of job. Um, and I thought about it. I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna give him $100 instead. He said 40. That felt like the right amount. So pulled it out, folded it up, gave it to him, and we're talking, and he was like, I really appreciate this. I was praying. Man, this is getting me a little emotional because I could feel the like deep emotions that he was feeling, and yeah, he was just struggling, and yeah, I could just feel it, and honestly, I wish I could have done more. I don't know what I could have done, but I did what I could, and he was just talking about how he he was talking about how he was praying, and I just showed up, and he knew that I was the person sent to him. I need to get tissues. Of course, I don't have any near me. Okay, uh, but I felt it. I've heard people say that in the past. It hasn't felt like this, and it's hard to see. So, on the way back, I just felt like I should be talking to him about something, and I'm like, I just felt some, like, I didn't really think about it. The words just kind of came to me, and it was like, you're really strong and brave, and you just need to keep going. Everything's gonna work out, And, he's going to be okay. Uh, and I was just kind of telling him about how, like, we can only do what we can do. And sometimes, we're struggling and, we need some help. And yeah, you'll be taken care of. And in that case, I was the one helping. But, sometimes it could be the other way around. And I don't know, it just meant a lot to know that, like, he really did need my help at that moment. And I was glad I could help him. Um, it's such a different feeling compared to um, other times because I could feel the like guidance. Like it wasn't like I wasn't wanting to do it myself, but it was like the guidance in the background was kind of pushing me. And I didn't say it, but I was like, well, out of all the people to have God send, I'm like, well, I technically, I'm an earth angel, so it's like that makes sense that I would be sent to someone who's been praying for some help. So, and I didn't even see, the thing is, I didn't initially want to go look at the food, but I just kind of, there's a little nudge, tiny nudge of like, yeah, let's just check out what's going on. But I wouldn't have walked past him if I hadn't done the little things, like, oh, there's a mall. And like yesterday, it's like, oh, there's a mall that has a Target. I wouldn't have gone if there wasn't a Target there. And you know, last night, going through that experience, I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have thought that I needed to go to Target until um, I realized I had some things that I just really wanted in my pack as like a standard. And I'm kind of also thinking maybe I should get a backpack instead of my little tote thing. Because the tote thing is fine, but I feel like a backpack would be so much better in the long run. So that's something I'll keep an eye out for, is a backpack. Um, but yeah, I'm just so glad that I was able to help. And obviously it mattered, um, for the guy, and I think it mattered for me as well. Um, but yeah, so I did that, came back, and then put my stuff away, and then I ended up going to what's it called? The Piggy Wiggy place. What is that? I think it's Piggly Wiggly or something. It's a little like grocery store, and yeah, it was good. I just got the fruit that I ate, and I got some bags so that I can sort my suitcase a little bit better. It's like fine. The suitcase is fine, but like I just wanted it to be a little more organized, and I think that's going to be a way to do it. Other than that, yeah, I think I'm really glad that yesterday happened, and I'm really glad that today happened. And even thinking about like out of all the places I picked here. I wouldn't have ran into that guy if I didn't pick here. And I picked here because I thought, oh, the mall thing is cool. My friend he didn't talk me out of it, but he kind of like, he's like, like, it's probably just a strip mall. And I'm like, no, I think it's an actual mall. Um, Turns out I was right, but wrong in that it doesn't have too much going on. It's not that interesting. Um, but it's still cool in both the literal sense and metaphorical sense. So, um, and then I went to this new Zen place, or it's like Zen Fusion. It's like Zen Fusion something. I don't know. Um, but yeah, I went there. Turns out they have a tofu dish instead of it being crispy garlic tofu. It's just it's basically uh, teriyaki tofu, and it's really good. You just get the tofu, you get a couple little vegetables on the side. Um, but yeah, uh, perfect. Like, couldn't have asked for more when it comes to getting my protein. So I'm gonna be eating there probably in the mornings. I say mornings, but like mid afternoons from now on, probably for the rest of while I'm here. Um, and then the Piggly Wiggly place. Um, that has some like salad stuff. So I was thinking for my greens, maybe go there, get a little thing of greens and some fruit, and then go eat at the New Zen place, the tofu, and then that'll be my meal, my staple meal, and then uh, you know if there's anything else that I want to get while I'm here with my friend, I'll go get it in the evening. I also have there's like these protein bars that I found, which are actually really good. Wow, okay, I say really good. I'm saying all the ingredients seem really good. So that'll be helpful as like a tide over. Um, and it gives me, another 12 grams of protein. So that coupled with, I don't know, like 50 or 50-ish grams of protein I'm getting from the tofu, because it's a tofu block. I get pretty much a whole tofu block when I do it. So, you know, it's like 60-ish grams of protein with that, not counting anything else. I'm looking for walnuts. I can't find walnuts. So I might have to get them at Costco, even though I don't want to have a giant thing of walnuts. So we'll have to see. Maybe when I go with my friend tomorrow to hang out, we can look to see if we can find walnuts somewhere. Um, but yeah, I also keep thinking back to the little squirrel. I'm like, oh, I wish I could give you some walnuts, but anyway. Um, so I plan on doing a reading after this. So kind of getting all the bases done, and then um, in the evening, I'm just gonna rest, relax for the rest of the evening. No point in going out. Um, I could just watch some YouTube videos and vibe. Um, and then I can also work on. I gotta plug my. I forgot to plug my. My guy I'm using to record this. So anyway, um, yeah, I think that's it. There's nothing really else to say. This is a really important day. You know, technically it started at like midnight. Uh, but like this day was so monumental in so many ways. Um, and also just realizing that I'm enough. I don't have to be continuing to try and change. The me right now is enough. I just need to be myself. And again, I've talked about that over and over again. I just need to be myself. That's it. So, yeah, I think helping that guy out um, pointed to that. I think that's why I got emotional. I also, there was a lot of emotions that he was feeling that I kind of took on for him. Um, and so I kind of had to work through that as well. So I think part of it is he's also just really emotional. Uh, so I can recognize where the two kind of mesh together. But anyway, this is gonna be a long one. Um, I guess I'll talk to you guys a little bit later. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.